Hi, and welcome to the Get Local podcast. I'm so excited that you have joined us yet again. Or if this is your first time, I hope that you will enjoy as we bring to you these local gems, these little hidden businesses in the upstate. And you get a chance to talk to the owner, learn some real relevant and resourceful information. We are at the 864 Sound Studio on Sweetbriar Road in Greenville, South Carolina. So we are so excited that you're here with us today. Our guest today is Mr. Donnie Young, and Donnie is with Universal Credit Repair. I think we are at a perfect time in 2024 to talk a little bit about credit restoration for both personal and business as well. So welcome to the studio, Donnie. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful. Well, Donnie, what we like to do is talk a little bit about your business and let our listeners understand kind of who you are and what you do. So
Okay.
tell me a little bit about Universal Credit Repair.
Well, we are not just a credit repair company. We are a full legal plan. We offer our clients um, resources that they can use to maintain and build credit, and if necessary, to repair their credit. And our main goal is to put a million people in the next 5 years in the home ownership. And some of the ways that you will have to do that is you will have credit challenges. So we're able to repair, restore people's personal credit to get them back into position to get the home that they need.
Well, I think that's wonderful, Donnie. I'm also a real estate agent myself, and I know that so many times homeowners or people who want to become a homeowner are hindered by that because of their credit. And oftentimes they find themselves in apartments or rental homes, and they're actually paying more for rent than they would if they purchased a home. So are those the type of people that would be good to reach out to you? Someone who maybe they think their credit score is too low, or maybe they know their credit score is too low.
Yeah, definitely. People that are renting, low to moderate income families, individuals, anybody that really has just been through life and has hit a hard place in their life, and things happen, and you get strikes on your credit score, and your credit score will drastically reduce just by missing a payment. I
Mm.
mean, you can lose up to 100 points for that, and that can put you in the low five to 600s, and it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run on a home loan. So definitely, people, anybody that's renting, anybody that's going through a divorce, and they just have in a bad spot with bankruptcy, we help with that. So we fight off and we dispute the negative items that are actually on people's credit that happen from just going through life and just being in a bad position of everybody struggles financially at some point in time. So we're here to help anybody, no matter what.
Now, Donnie, one of the things when I met you outside the organization of Get Local, and one of the things that we were talking about is you can use things like your cell phone credit. You can help them to get that on their credit report so it helps to rebuild. Is that correct?
That is correct. One of the of resources that we offer is being able to add your rent to your actual credit report. That can give you rental history. That can give you up to 40 points if that you get that added as a positive trade line to your credit report, and also your bills like your light bill, your cell phone bills. If you have these things that are in your name, you're already paying for them every month. So why not get credit for
Mm-hmm.
paying them instead of just being at a loss for your money? And just like we offer a secure credit card, so most people you got to pay your bills every month.
Yes.
So instead of putting it on a debit card, take that same money, put that on a secured card, and then pay your bills through that, which in turn is going to actually help you build credit instead of just paying your bills every month and you just at a loss. Yes, your bills are paid, but it has not helped you gain any type of positive traction on your credit.
Gotcha. Now, I was also told, and maybe you can confirm this, but I was told by someone that if you've got something that's really, really old on your credit, so let's say it's maybe 6 years old, and then all of a sudden you think you're going to get a home and you go back and you start paying that, then that kind of reactivates that credit. And that can also hinder your score. So I've had some people say, don't touch anything. If you know you've got low credit, go to a credit repair company and let them figure out who you need to pay. They may even be able to negotiate. Is that correct?
It's right and wrong. If you have an account that's been on your credit for 6 years. You don't really want, you don't want to close it unless like you just absolutely have to, because credit length is part of your actual score.
Mm.
And so when you close that account, is it's like it kills that. So the older you an account is, the better of impact it's going to have on
Oh,
your actual
okay.
score. So if it's in good standing, you want to keep that open as long as possible, if it's just not killing you in interest, and if you can. So, but everybody's situation is kind of different. I mean, you gotta.
Right.
But our people, they'll customize a plan for you and tell you exactly what you need to do with the items that are on your credit report, because we have actual lawyers and consumer finance attorneys that actually analyze it and give you a plan on how to move forward in the best manner financially.
Now, I really love that, Donnie. So it's not just you who've gone to school and you've been educated and trained on what to do, but you have a whole team behind you that's looking at it and advising your consumer as well. So that's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
definitely, it's not just me. We have experts that supersede what I know, and they do a lot of the grunt work, because I mean they're the specialists.
Hmm. Now, what have you seen as a good score and what is considered a bad score?
Um, if you want to be above 700,
700.
uh,
Okay.
like, I mean, 650, you can get loans down to, I mean, 580, but the lower your score is, obviously the more you're going to pay in interest. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't really want to be paying 200 extra $1,000 on a loan, and that's what having a credit score that's below 700 can actually cost you. So you want to shoot for the highest credit score as possible, because it's going to save you so much money in interest. So, but 700, anything below a 700, I would actually seek, professional opinion, and or add positive credit to it to
Hmm.
get it to boost, is one thing that you can always do.
Now, let's go back to your 550. So I have a 550 credit score, for instance, and I contact you. How long is it going to take me to get my score up to that 700? Is it going to be years? Is it going to be months? What does
It
it typically take?
Typically, I really can't say, because everybody's situation is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on how much is on your credit report. It depends on how adamant you are in the process. I mean, you
Mm.
can get results up to 30 days of 60 days, you could get an increase, but you can't guarantee that. So
Mm-hmm.
damn, and that's the thing. A lot of people will guarantee it, but it's really against the law to guarantee a person that you can improve their credit score for 100 points or whatever the case may be. You can't do that, and that's why a lot of companies get into hot water for
Mm-hmm.
making false guarantees that they can't stand by, because they can't prove that. They can't prove how something will impact your credit, and they're a third party company. They just can't do it.
Right.
So I mean, everybody's results will vary depending on your situation. But I always tell people, like, you don't mess your credit up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect it to be repaired overnight.
That's a
So
really
I
good
would say, I
point.
mean, just prepare like, if you want to buy a house, you want to start preparing for that at least a year before it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to plan
Right.
and start working on it that far in advance, to know when you get to that point, you got options.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had anyone, Donnie, that just absolutely, could not repair their credit?
No, we can help. I mean, you can always do something. It's about making a stand and getting a point in your life, or on your financial journey, where you say, well, okay, this is today. I'm gonna start doing everything right. I'm gonna pay my bills on time. I'm gonna save my money, and I'm gonna move forward, and and not go backwards. The further you get away from negative items on your credit report, there's less impact it's going to have on your score. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, anybody can be helped. I mean, but it takes time,
It takes
and
time and
it is a
commitment.
time commitment, and it is a process. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, some people see results in 30, 60 days. Some people it takes longer, but it's all about you get out what you put in, and that's with
Mm-hmm.
anything that you do in
In
life.
life. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And I'll tell you, I love what you said earlier is, a lot of people are embarrassed by their credit score, But things happen in life, whether it is a divorce, hospital situation where you had maybe medical
Yep.
and you got behind on all of your bills. I mean, those things happen. But to me, what is so exciting is that everybody can be helped. Like you said earlier, it's just a matter of whether they're willing to put the effort in to do it. Now, there's another part of your business that I want to talk a little bit about so our listeners can hear it, because obviously our podcast talks a lot about local businesses and entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So, one of the things as a serial entrepreneur myself is I have found that when you start a business, or you've had a business even sometimes 3 to 5 years, you're actually putting things in your personal credit. And you were saying as a part of your business, you actually help businesses to learn how to establish business credit so they don't have to put their home or their car or their personal credit history on the line. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's
Okay.
one of the things that I like to do for entrepreneurs, because it's something that I suffer from. I didn't know about business credit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it caused me to suffer the first 3, 4 years in my business, when I should not have had to struggle that hard if I had known how to build business credit
Right.
without a personal guarantee. So the goal is to not to use someone else's money and to not go into business with your own resources.
Mm-hmm.
So I can teach people how to structure their businesses properly and how to build business credit to get the capital and funds that they need to either run their business or expand.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, I can help people with that as well. And that's part of the consultations, um, the business consultation side of the business. But I'm also a mortgage loan officer as well
Okay.
in all 50 states. I'm a federal loan officer. So that's the ultimate goal, is to get people in homes and utilize real estate to build wealth.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm so not so that we're not, just like I say, we're not just we don't just do credit repair. We're a full legal plan, and we have resources to help people actually get on their feet and build wealth for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So like I say, I'm a national mortgage loan officer. I'm backed by a federal credit union that funds all our deals. We have a ton of different loans that we use to help our clients once we get them in position where that's where the credit score of repair comes in at. Because if you come across somebody, most people want to buy a home.
Yes. That's
So
American dream, right?
it's the American dream. So typically, if that's what's going to cause you to struggle with buying a home, if you have a low credit score,
Mm-hmm.
or some people have great credit score, but they just can't get the extra funds or the down payment
Mm-hmm.
to actually get into the homes. And so that's one of the things that we do with this legal plan. We show people how to manage their money and how to build wealth with multiple strategies. And so being a mortgage loan officer and a national, I can help you no matter what state you're in.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so once we help you with your credit, then we put you in position to buy the home, and you could find them the house, and
Mm-hmm.
then we can actually get them the money for it, because I am a mortgage loan officer as
Yeah.
well.
Well, and Donnie, don't you think a lot of people don't realize that there are all kind of assistance programs out there, and there are different types of loans?
It is.
I've heard a lot of potential homeowners say, "Well, I can't come up with 20% down," and it's the very first home that they're ever buying, and they don't realize that there are all types of incentives for first-time home
It,
buyers,
it
right?
it definitely is. Lack of knowledge hurts a lot of people. So yes, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you don't necessarily have to have the 20% up front if you're going to through certain programs.
Mm-hmm.
Certain programs you can get all that way. You can get 100% finance.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a ton of different programs, and we offer them all.
Yeah. And I know a lot of times people will say, well, I can't afford a home, but maybe they can't at that moment. But if someone would contact you, it sounds like you help them do budgeting as well. So to say, okay, this is how much you need to start saving every month to be able to get there. And this is how we need to repair your credit. So, your income is important, your credit
Exactly.
is important, and then the type of program you get when you purchase a home is important.
That is correct.
And having realtors that can help you find what you're looking for.
Yeah,
So you can always call me. I'd love
yeah,
to help.
people that are geared to. I mean, we're geared towards helping people, and not
Mm-hmm.
like making a fortune off of people. Because I mean, you have to serve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I'm here, because now the leverage that I've gained in society, I want to use that to help other people, so they don't have to go through the same thing that I went through, because I mean I've struggled. I mean,
Yeah.
in learning what I've learned and getting to where I'm at, I feel like I should have been way further if I had had somebody like me
Mm-hmm.
to show me the way.
Well, isn't that great? I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs are trying to convey, especially the local companies. We're not just trying to hire a manager or a staff to come in and run our business. We're trying to pass on that wisdom and knowledge that we learned through the hard knocks, as the old saying
Yeah.
goes. We learn things sometimes the hard way, and hopefully we're going to be able to provide information to those new people coming on or starting their business and or trying to buy their home for the first time, and hopefully we can give them the knowledge that they need to be more successful. Um, Tell me a little bit more about your business, as far as the business owners who are trying to establish in their credit in their business name. Are there a couple of quick little tips you can give our listeners?
Yeah, sure. I would say, you have to have, you got to get a business checking account. You can't be, you can't say you have a business.
Commingling funds.
Yeah, you can't say, well, okay, well, I'm doing business, and you don't even have a business checking account,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to require you to have certain documentation at the bank in order
Mm-hmm.
to get this account in the business name. So you got to have, you got to have a business checking account. You're going to have a, you need your LLC,
Mm-hmm.
and you need your EIN. And the next step is that a lot of people don't realize this is your DUNS number. It's called a Dun and Bradstreet number, and it's basically a platform that they report the vendors that you use as a business.
Mm-hmm.
So we're spend as a business owner, you spend all this money with Home Depot, all this money with Lowe's, and these places, but you're really not getting credit for it for your business. So
Gotcha.
so when you start, but you have to establish certain vendors, and that's where it gets tricky at, because all vendors like Lowe's and Home Depot, they're not reporting to the business credit profile. So you got to have certain accounts that you're using to run your business that actually report to the business credit bureaus.
Mm.
So that is the key. But you have to have a DUNS number for that, and to actually enhance the actual experience and get through all the tiers that's necessary.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
so I mean, it's easier than personal credit and
Mm-hmm.
faster. I'll tell you that. If you do,
Really?
yes, if you do it the right way, you can do it. You can get a lot of funding in a year. I mean,
Wow.
and it's not that easy with personal credit.
Yeah.
It takes a while to build your personal credit up, because you're just one person. So lenders, when you're running a business, they look at it, okay, well, you're doing 10, 15 grand a month, so you can afford to pay back 30 grand.
Gotcha.
I can allow you to borrow this, but as just a person, you're not making that type of income in order to just be able to pay that loan back
Mm-hmm.
along with all your personal bills. But as a business, they look at you different. So you
Gotcha.
got to establish the credibility as a business in order to get the maximum benefit of having an LLC and a business account.
So if I'm someone new getting ready to start a business, it would be really good for them to contact you, so you can say, here's some things that you can do to set up right away to start building your business credit. And then
Definitely.
if I'm a business that's listening today and maybe it's been 3 years and it's still all in my personal name, can you help them get it switched over to the business credit?
Yes, I can help them.
Okay, well then for sure they definitely need to give you a call. Well, Donnie, you're also located in Greenville, is that
I
correct?
am.
So, but you handle anybody, South Carolina, nationwide,
Yeah, it
right?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you at. I mean, either personally or on the business uh, credit side. I mean, because everything we do now is online. You don't have to always meet face to face. If need be, yes, we can do that. But in order to leverage technology, I mean, you don't have to go across state to help somebody in California, because we have the tools and resources to help them. I mean, digitally.
Absolutely. Well, tell me about a time. One of the things we do is we like to talk to the listeners because we have entrepreneurs who are listening as well. Can you tell me about a time, as an entrepreneur, when you had a challenge that you faced in running your own business?
I mean, we'd be all day for that. But I would say,
What's been the hardest thing about owning your own business?
to me,
Yeah.
I would say the admin side of it,
Mm,
because bookkeeping, taxes, and all of that, to me, was where I would say I struggled at.
Gotcha.
And you got to keep good books, you got to keep good records, and you got to know all these things, or you have to hire someone that knows, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where I fell short at in my journey. I know that
Mm.
for a fact, because you get so caught up in the grind and the physical work and the making the money, but then you got to keep up with it properly. You got to put it where it needs to go. You got to prepare for your taxes. So I would say the admin side of business, because it's easy to get in the business, but then
Mm-hmm.
to actually manage it and run it properly, to me, that is the struggle if you don't come from a background that actually has taught you that.
Yes, for sure. And I think that is the hardest part, especially when we're in a service business or sales, because we don't like to slow down. We like to do the service and the sales. We don't like to do the
No,
paperwork, right?
no, definitely. I hate paperwork.
But you have to do the paperwork, or you find yourself into some legal situations, or
Hmm.
even maybe that's what gets you into some financial situations because you're not keeping your books and you don't
Yep.
know how much money you have or what you're spending, you
Yep.
know? So that part is extremely important. Well, what about a time where you actually overcame a challenge? What's something that you were faced as a business owner and you thought, "Oh, I'll never get through this," but you actually did?
I've just always over I've always overbooked myself. I've and I felt like I've always been busy. And then when you build out a team
Mm-hmm.
and then you got all this work, and then they don't last or don't show up, and you're there with left with the smoking gun,
Mm.
that's when I've stood out the most, because I haven't backed down, I haven't given up. I just lace up my boots a little bit tighter, and I go a little bit harder.
Mm.
When everybody's left me, I got out there and I did it myself. No matter what, I wouldn't fail me. So
Mm.
I put all my faith in me when I was left hanging, and I just kept going. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean. And it's happened multiple times. And every time I stand up and rise to the occasion. And that's why I am successful. That's why I'm in my 8th year. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I am a force to be reckoned with, because I will not give up and I will not let nothing stop me. And
Mm.
that's the main thing. I mean, employees,
Yeah.
it's hard. I mean,
Yes.
because you as an entrepreneur, you want people that has the same desire to work and grind like you do, and it's not it's hard. It's
It's
hard.
hard, yeah.
It's
And I
hard.
think, as business owners, we kind of pour into those people that we bring on our staff because
Yeah.
we're really picky about who we bring in. But we usually bring someone in that we think is going to have the same ethics and morals and work like we do. And oftentimes they don't. And so that can definitely be a disappointment. But I love what you said. At the end of the day, you are going to stand up for you, right?
You got
You're
to
going to
keep
be the one
going.
that keeps it going, right?
You got to keep going. When nobody shows up, you got to be ready to step in and run your business.
Even if it's by
Even
yourself.
if it's by yourself, you got to do as much as you can. If you got to work 24 hours to get it done until you find another employee, that's what you got to do.
Right. That's
And
what you
that's what
got
I've
to do.
done.
And 8 years. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, sometimes our listeners are, they're business owners who it just seems like they've had, 2023 was maybe a horrible year for them. And they're thinking, oh my gosh, I just can't do this for another year. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to give up on my dream. I'm just done. What do you say to those people, Donnie? What would you say to them?
I would tell them to look back into the worst time in their life
Mm,
and see that they made it through it.
that's good
Because
advice.
that's what I do when I get down bad. I look to when I had worse things going on, or when I was in a worse position, and
Mm-hmm.
that gave me the uh, grit to look at what I was doing like it was nothing, because
Mm-hmm.
I've already done. I've been through this worse than this. I was born in the worse than this. So what can you do to me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell people: dig down deep, and look for the hardest time in your life that was got to be harder than what you're doing now, because
Mm,
I mean, you wouldn't be here to talk about it. So I
yeah.
mean, you just can't give up, and you have to understand that it's not always going to be like that.
Right.
Like the storm never don't last forever. It's going to be rocky time. That's what builds character. You got
Mm-hmm.
to have the struggle in order to develop into who you are, because without that, you're not going to become the person that can handle the adversity that is needed to get to your next level.
I think that's great advice, Donnie. Just look back. I've never thought about that, but look back at the hardest time in your life, right? So I know, Donnie, you're a what I call a serial
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneur, and I'm kind of the same way. I own multiple businesses, but what are some other businesses that you own?
Well, the mother company to my success has been Universal Lawn and Floor, and I've won several awards here in the upstate with that company. Um, I have a ton of commercial and residential landscape accounts all the way from here to Columbia, Anderson, Seneca, Spartanburg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really heavy in the landscape industry. I have a power washing company. I have a cleaning company. And like I say, with this company, we also have the ability to install any type of floor. But right now, I've just been so swamped with this landscaping because the landscaping industry is booming. I mean,
Yes.
and so haven't been able to really even do floors because I'm so busy with the landscaping, and then it's taking so much manpower to
Mm-hmm.
invest into that that I haven't really been doing a lot of floors. But that's down the line once I get more of the right people
Mm-hmm.
and the resources. Those are things that I'll have going and I'll be managing like later on in my journey.
So as some of our listeners are thinking about, well, this business seems to be, it's moving along, it's doing well, and I'm thinking about getting into something else. Did you find it hard to manage multiple businesses at the same time, or did you get one stable and then you jumped into another one, or how did that work?
You have to master one thing first. You have to
Mm-hmm.
dominate and master one craft first and build a name for yourself because it's like, okay, well, I'm if I destroy one industry, automatically people think that okay, he's gonna be a success at doing this because he's
Mm-hmm.
good at doing that.
Gotcha.
So I mean, success leaves clues, and I mean, if like the way you do one thing is how you do everything,
Right.
and that's how I am. So whatever I do, I strive to do it the best.
Right.
So I wouldn't say hard, but the best thing is to master one thing, and that right there will fuel the rest.
The next one.
Yeah, it will, and it's just like a trickle though. It's not like okay, well, this you got this massive monster here, but then you got small little trickles. But when it's pulled into one place, it all fills that ocean up. It's like a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
streams, a bunch of rivers pooling to create a large ocean. That's why they call it streams of income because you got money coming from everywhere, but it's you might not be getting $200,000 from every company. You
Mm-hmm.
may be getting just 10, but that money right there you can use to invest in something else passively.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's it's not as hard as you think, but it's definitely not easy. But
Right.
it's doable if you have the will and desire.
And that's building your financial security for your family as well by
Correct?
having those multiple businesses. And who knows, you might want to pass that down to one of your children one day, right? Let them
Yeah,
take one or
definitely.
two of the businesses.
Definitely.
Well, Donnie, if our listeners want to reach out to you to either build their, maybe consult with you about their business credit, or they need to get their personal credit checked out and repaired, or if, for instance, they want a mortgage, how do our listeners reach you?
The easiest way to really reach me is on Facebook. I mean, I'm Donnie Young, aka Mr. Universal. I got the blue check beside me. I'm pretty much everywhere. If you can Google Universal Lawn and Floor, and you'll definitely find me. I'm all over the internet. I'm definitely not hard to find. Like I say, on Facebook, I'm Universal Credit Repair and Business Consultation. But Donnie Young, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm all over. I'm all over Google. So I'm really not hard to find. My phone number is 864-205-5626. You can give me a call. You can texting is honestly easy. I mean, you can text you can text me. We can get all the way from point A to point Z just on just and not even see each other to be honest. But I mean, so I'm not hard to find.
Awesome. Well, I want you guys to reach out to Donnie and let him help you build your wealth by improving your credit or getting your business credit in your own personal name. He's definitely the man that you need to reach out to, and a mortgage. So, I'll help you find your real estate. Donnie will help you get your mortgage.
Yep.
And it is the American dream for everybody. So I hope you guys will reach out to Donnie. Now, Donnie, I always have a question that I ask at the end. And I know you said you was listening to some of the podcasts. So I'm not going to ask you the question you've already heard. I'm going to ask you a new one. It's our secret question.
Okay.
So the question is, if you could be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
I would have to say I would be a lion
You would be a lion. Why?
because it's the fiercest animal in the jungle, and not because of its size, because it's clearly not the largest animal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the mentality of the lion that's always it's never going to back down, and it's going to eat by all means necessary. And that's the mentality that I embrace. I embrace a lion's mentality. And if you see me, I'm not the biggest guy, but my willpower and my desire, to me, and my personality is huge, like
Yes.
that of a lion. So you got to have a lion's mentality in life, or you'll be the gazelle. You I would be chased,
Ah, be chased. I love that.
and I'm
And
not running.
I see you as the lion when you said earlier, when all else fails, I'm going to stand up, lace my boots a little higher, and I'm going to get in there and get the job done. So I definitely see that. Well, thank you for sharing that with us,
You're more than welcome.
Donnie. That's kind of my little fun one. So, hey, we're at 864 Sound. We're using the studio here. Brian Higginbotham is the owner. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about 864 Sound. They do original music, music production, sound design, voiceovers, podcasting, audio repair, mixing, mastering, live sound, and so much more. So I hope that you guys will reach out to Brandon. He has a heart and a passion for the small businesses, just as Get Local does. And so you will not regret making that phone call. So give Brandon a call. You can find him also on Facebook and the web as well. 864 Sound. So be sure to look at that. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on the Get Local podcast, where we bring you those little hidden gems who can share about who they are, what they do, and also give you some encouragement and some advice from running a business. I hope to see you in our next podcast. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.